Hey, what's up everyone, Sangluten here, and we're back for another episode of Spice for Thought, the educational content where we look at tier lists, strategy guides, tips, mistakes to avoid, and so on and so on. And this episode 11, will be about the best decks for each leader. As usual, if you could hit that like button on the video, follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, would be hugely appreciated, helps a lot, and it costs nothing. So I hope to see you soon in our community. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So first would be Ariana. Obviously with the ring providing water, this helps for research stations. Back to draw cards from Spice as well, makes it a bit easier potentially to reach Spiceman's flows. So I would say there is no like absolute strong decks for her specifically, but I think Holtzman is overall strong, and Minimic as well might synergize well with her ability to draw more than others potentially. Maybe one thing before switching to understand what I mean with best decks for each leader. It's not like you need to buy those decks if you have this leader, or you need to choose this leader if you see those decks in the row. Not really. It's more like where are there potential synergies worth thinking about, and yeah, it's more like it can be an idea, but it's not always true. As usual in Dune Imperium, you need to adapt what you see to your opponents, to the card, to the route to endgame that you see for yourself after a while. So it's a bit more like to get the discussion going and to see what we could see helping most in terms of decks for each leader. Second one would be Armand. Armand, for sure, Spy Satellites is very useful for him because for his coordination ability to be able to work, to trash more often than not, you need to play on non-faction spaces, so you don't maybe gain as much influence as you would with other leaders. So SpySat can be useful to maybe target one alliance, let the others factions be, and still get your trashes out. The second one, Disposal Facility, is because, in my opinion, trashing has a bit of a self-reinforcing benefit. The more you do it, the stronger your deck is, and the more useful it is to basically maybe acquire new cards that you see worth playing, maybe not being afraid of trashing it at some point, besides your usual daggers, reconnaissance, and maybe convincing, but at some point you might be able to trash unload effects as well, like Freighter Fleet or In the Shadows. Using that ability that you have, plus the Disposal Facility, you can get a very, very different deck from your starting deck, let's put it that way. And besides making your deck stronger, it is also, in my opinion, a very fun way to play. Number 3, Baron. For him, I would say, given his Masterstroke ability, Memo Quarters should be pretty easy to reach and is helpful as well to maybe get that early influence with the guild potentially. But overall, yeah, Memo Quarters should be easy to achieve given the passive ability from the Baron. Sonic Snoopers is more in link with his active ability or his ring scheme, which allows to go through so many different intrigues by buying them with one Solari each time. And Sonic Snoopers again feels like you might have a bit of a self-reinforcing benefit going through so many intrigues. You might be able to fish for those plans within plans, or other cards you might want, like combat for a specific fight you're looking to try and win, and so on. So I think this can also be very helpful, specifically for Baron. Beast. I think Beast also has a strong case for Spy Satellites to really focus on combat. That's why I put Training Drones as second tech, but that means he can focus really on one alliance, giving his ring more power, and focus on combat overall by going city spaces more often than maybe factions, allowing you to change your focus and not really care about your friendships because you get the endgame benefit from SpySat. And Training Drones, just to emphasize a bit more on that combat ability, but it could also be a flagship, something that gives you more power, or an artillery if you buy a lot of Fremen cards with swords on reveal. Artillery can also be very strong. Number 5, Helena. I've put Spaceport. It's a bit of a meme deck. It's not the best, but who better than Helena to actually make that deck potentially work? The deck builder by excellence. With that ring ability, she can snatch cards so easily from the Imperium row. That's also why I've set the Minimic film, because again, she's a deck builder, and more persuasion means better cards, better deck, and there goes the synergy for her. Andro is the shipper. He's the one on the shipping track. He should be there more often than others. Also because, again, it is a bit of a self-reinforcing loop. The more shipping you do, the more powerful it gets. So troop transports make sense in that regard because you ship more, ideally. So you would be able to deploy from that shipping track as well. And the second one, invasion ships, is a bit of a different logic. This one would be rather if you're at the top of the shipping track, you play your ring on a city space, you manage to basically recall your freighter from the top of the shipping track, and if you can buy invasion ships at the same time, that's 4 troops you can set out, plus the 2 from the shipping track, the usual ones, that's 6, plus the 1 from the city space, that's 7. So plus if you have 2 in the garrison, you can basically deploy 9 troops at once, which is completely unheard of, and that's something Handro can make happen potentially. That's why I've put invasion ships there. Also because its ability, besides just the acquire ability, is to basically infiltrating, and that obviously helps you go into shipping as much as possible as well. Number 7, Ilban. Ilban is the master of the Landsrat spaces. So Menta, High Council, everything makes him draw basically as soon as he goes there. So he's so strong to get Spicemus flows that I had to put Holtzman engine there. He's the one that can the best make use of that deck, I feel like. Second one, Shuttle Fleet. I've set it there because that basically feeds you Menta money every round start. So I feel like this is a very strong synergy for him as well. The fact that you don't need to worry about those Solari, you can just go Menta every round without even thinking of it. So that's very, very strong. Number 8 is Ilessa, and again, she does not have many like strong synergies, a bit like Helena or Ariana that we saw before. But in her case, I think what is strong is her one step ahead ability allows you to maybe set a dagger aside round 1 and to go to Technego with it with your second agent, generating a spice thanks to that. And thanks to Technego discount, maybe already buying a tech that costs 2 spice. So here I've put, in my opinion, the 2 best techs for that are Memocorders and Minimic. So that's the logic here, why it synergies as well. It's more about the leader being able to buy the techs rather than the techs necessarily helping the leader's abilities, but it still, in my opinion, works as a synergy. So yeah. Lido, I've put Memocorders as well, but for different reasons. Thanks to his ring, he's very good at gaining influence, so he should fairly easily get to 3 influence on all influence tracks, on all factions. Similarly to Baron, basically, I've put Memocorders because you can target that endgame point more often than not with Lito. Second one, Restricted Ordnance, put here because it is easier for Lito to get the High Council, not only because it costs 1 Solari less, but also because everything else, Swordmaster, Menta, Dreadnought, everything costs 1 Solari less, meaning you are gonna be able to spend your Solari in a more diverse way, let's put it that way. So that High Council seat should be more attainable for you. And from there on, having a Restricted Ordnance is very strong. Again, maybe buying Dreadnoughts on top of that, and then you're all set for combat. Memnon, I've put Memnon's decks exactly the same as Ileza for the exact same reason. He generates spice with his ring, meaning he could go round 1 to Technego with the ring and buy one of those 2 very good cheap decks. Number 11 would be Paul, and Paul has the best use case for Holo Projector. because you know what you're going to draw. Unless your deck is empty, in which case you're a bit like everyone else. Other than that, you have that prescience that allow you to see what you're going to draw. Is it worth using the holo? Are you risking something? Well, you know it as Paul. You know what you're going to draw from flipping the whatever dagger or whatever you want to flip out of your hand. You know what you're going to draw from it, so you know if it's worth it. So holo is very, very strong for Paul. And Minimic Film I've set here because he's also a deck builder, similar to Helena. And obviously, the more persuasion you have, the better it is to buy more expensive cards. So yeah, but Holo Projector is really the one that has the strongest synergy with Paul. Number 12 would be Rumber, and there his stronger synergy feels like being detonation device, given you should be in a position to focus maybe a Dreadnought or two thanks to your heavy lasgun cannons, the passive ability that makes your Dreadnoughts stronger. Although worth noting, usually when you have a dead device, people will fight you a bit stronger on the combats, so it's not like an absolute cheat code. It is still good and it is worth trying, but it's not something that is free. It will cost you a lot to try and commit to those points, but it might be worth it. Invasion ships, similar to Handro, but this time your ring actually allows you to buy a tech directly. So there, again, sending the ring on a combat space, buying invasion ships at the same time means you can send those 4 troops you acquire thanks to the tech directly in combat. So that's pretty strong as well. 13 would be Tessia, and Tessia is the influence king, and she's very influence hungry, given she needs to reach those snooper tokens, and you usually try to target 2 alliances with her. Memo Cordos, a bit same reason as Lido and Baron. You should get pretty easily to 3 influence on every factions, so Memo Cordos should be an endgame point for you, and Shuttle Fleet is because, not for the Solari in that case, but for the 2 influence bumps you can get from it, can be very useful to help you get alliances, get those snooper tokens out of the way. And last but not least, Yuna. Yuna is the Solari queen, obviously generating more Solari than anyone else, and I feel like for that reason flagship can be very powerful, because you can generate those Solari a bit easier than anyone else. And it is obviously a very powerful tech. It's something that could be worth considering, especially around the end game when your ring might have less value, because obviously otherwise you're very Solari hungry for your ring as well. By the end of the game, usually you have your friendships, you have maybe an alliance or 2 sorted, and by then you have more clarity whether you have excess Solari or not, and if you do, well, flagship is a great way of investing that Solari. And Shuttle Fleet, maybe a bit earlier in the game, you need that Solari. Obviously, to power up the ring, you need 7 Solari, so getting 2 Solari every round start already helps a lot for that, and I would say this is also a very useful tech for her. Obviously, it's at the round start, it's not at your round or turn start, so you don't get 3 Solari out of it, but even just getting 2 Solari every round start can help a lot for the Solari Queen. So yeah, that would be it for my idea of the best decks for every leader. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know where you disagree, where you agree, or which combo or synergy I haven't thought about. Be very curious to hear about that. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch. I hope to see you again very soon. Have a good one. Bye bye.